All of the greats are people who refuse to give up, even in the face of failure and adversity. Was it the points? The stats? Wins? Losses? No! Real G's know it's faith in the journey. This is the Greater Than Podcast, and I'm your host, Namisha Coleman. And I know a thing or two about the journey, one hurdle at a time. And that journey, my friends, is what defines us athletes. We're greater than just our sport. Athletes, remember Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous because you, yes, you, are destined to lead. This podcast is more than just sports. It's a platform for athletes at the highest stage. Here, we unpack the stories, the truths, from the titles to setbacks. And best believe, we're gonna be real, not what everyone wants us to be on your little TV screen. Because here, we celebrate the journey. So trust it. Be bold. And remember that you are greater than. Welcome to the Greater Than Podcast. My name is Namisha Coleman, and I'm here with the most consistent, talented athletes of Liberty. And she's a school record owner. She holds not one, not two, not 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, or 8, but 9 Freshman of the Week honors for CUSA, plus all-turning team honors. I'm here with Miss Asia Boone. Who was Asia Boone throughout her childhood leading up to this moment?
When I was getting recruited by Coach Green, he saw me become the bench player to the starting lineup. He calls me the sleeper. And what basically that means is like I've always been the underdog. Like, nobody has ever seen me, nobody knows who I am, but I'm a good player. I have really bad anxiety. Knowing that I have the Lord with me, I'm a lot more positive through my obstacles, and I know that I'm gonna get through it. My junior year, I had a meeting with the coach, and they were like, you're on the team, but you were the last one that we picked. After that meeting, I got so discouraged because this is my last chance of getting recruited. Like, I'm a senior. And, my dad, he was like, I think you should do it. I was like, but I would be scared to come to practice because I was like, I don't want to do this. Eventually it was just like, no, let's go. My defense has gotten so much better, offense, my decision making, all that stuff, to where I started. Talked to my assistant coach the other day, and I appreciate them so much. You only have the ball in your hands 5% of the game. I need to control more of the 95% and not let the 5% control my confidence in my performance. So, yeah.
That is a word right there.
Yeah.
A word right there.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course. No, thank you so much for coming.
This has always been on my bucket list to be on a podcast, and you just made my day.
Looking back at the tremendous season you guys have had, I understand you guys came back from NTSU. That was a little hard, but I got to watch you guys slap Liberty on the board. You guys were jumping up and down and everything. Explain to me that whole trip.
We got there. It was nice. It's a really nice hotel, all that stuff, and then we just had to get straight to business, go to film, scout, all that stuff, and then we had our first game. Won. We felt real good. All that stuff. We were very confident. We all played really well together. We all communicated, and we just did the same thing the next day, and we won that game too. So we were just super confident in our abilities, and we were really just like, yeah, we could win this. Like, we really could, and I feel like we could have, but that God didn't want us to happen. But it's okay. Our time will come soon enough. What is crazy is that the night before the championship game, the starters had to take IVs, like the needles.
Oh, sorry, I don't
See,
needles.
I'm not a person, I don't like needles. I get very weak, Yeah. And I was just like, oh, no, I can't do this. But they were like, Asia, you have to do this. Like, you average like 36, 38 minutes.
Right.
I was like, okay, listen, I could just drink water. Like what?
Some electrolytes.
They were like, no, that doesn't work as fast, and I feel like this is more efficient, especially for this upcoming game. Like, Jordan, my point guard, she was just like, no, I can't do that. I was like, okay, Jordan, we can do it together. So we ended up doing it. It hurt so bad. Mind you, I saw my family, my dad and my aunt came to visit me, which was really nice. Aww. And then we went to the game, all confident, as we should have been, literally.
Right.
We knew it was gonna be a hard game. It was gonna be challenging, but we had to get through it. In the game, I think it was also the crowd and just the environment, but I live for those moments. Definitely congratulated Middle Tennessee, and they got really far in March Madness.
I know, they messed up everyone's brackets.
Absolutely, they almost beat LSU, and I was honestly rooting for them. Like that would be a crazy accomplishment. Like that would have been crazy. Like to knock off LSU. Yeah, they were, because at halftime they were down by like 5.
Right.
Then I don't know what Kim Mulkey said, but got something in them because they started coming out like crazy.
Want dinner? Do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Do you want to eat?
Do you want a championship? Do you want the money? Like,
forget the money.
She did something.
You don't need to get to be on the bus.
You don't get the gear. You don't get to be on the team.
No.
So yeah, they came out and started. Bella and I won alternate, as you said.
Right.
We didn't even go get our awards. Like you stay and like, oh, they call your name, you go get the award. No, we went straight to the locker room. And Bella and I would both cry. Well, yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
And I knew she was crying because she's a senior. Like, she did a whole like Instagram video of it. She was like, it's like going through a breakup. When she explained it so well, and it literally is like all the memories. Like you can't get that back. Like you can't repeat all of that because newcomers are in, and we have a totally different schedule. It's just completely different. So she's coming back, y'all. Do not worry.
Okay.
She's coming back, but it's just we didn't get our super senior JB. She's not coming back.
No.
So that was a bit hard, especially me. Like she has uplifted me through so much. So and she's so Christ-like. So I'm very inspired by her. So.
I love the dynamic of the whole entire team. I honestly think that the women's basketball game is way more interesting than the men's. You guys are a lot more aggressive. You guys get to the ball better.
Honestly,
but like not many people are there.
Yeah. It honestly kind of hurts my heart that like nobody wants to come to our games.
Yeah.
But like when people do come to our games, it gives us confidence that like, yeah, we can win this game. Like especially when the crowd is riled up, then we get riled up. So we play with confidence and we're most likely to perform well. So it's just like they don't realize how much of an influence that they have coming to our games and really like supporting us and cheering for us. So I personally think we got farther. I feel like we had a better record. I just feel like we could have gotten the support. We should have got the credit that we deserve, but we didn't. But it's okay. But I'm very glad. Yes, we do have next year.
Growing up, right, we had to get recruited, came to college, went through high school, went through a lot of training.
Yes.
And a lot of times, like, sportscasters and fans watching, of course, they're cheering on us, like, through the game, or maybe they're upset with how we played. But we are more than just our sport.
Exactly.
We are more than just like the failures or the losses. We are way more than just our wins too.
Yeah.
It could just been a lucky game. It could not have been. Could have just been something we've been practicing. But like people don't see the behind the scenes that we have to kind of go through, especially as student athletes.
Yes. And I'm also very glad that like they started to come at the end of the season, like when the games really matter. But all season we definitely needed that. But yeah, I'm very glad that the women's basketball is like coming up. I think it was my pops. My pops told me, he was like, the tickets for March Madness for women's is double the price than the men's. It's more expensive. So I was like, wow.
Why though?
Because more people are coming to women's basketball games than men.
Yeah.
Like nobody knows, like, okay, we know who Houston is, Kentucky, all that stuff, but like everybody know who Iowa is, LSU, USC, like Notre Dame, like all of those players, like Juju Watkins, Kaylin Clark, Angel Reese, like they have all been performing. Everybody knows them, so like more people are starting to come to the women's because they're outperforming the men.
Right.
So I think that's amazing.
Who was Asia Boone throughout her childhood leading up to this moment?
That's a great question. I have been through a lot in my life, like we all have. It's called life, you know?
Right.
And we've all had to face adversity, and there's just people out there that are just not nice people, and we just had to overcome a lot of obstacles in our life. And my specific obstacles, it has built me into the person that I am today, whether that's mentally, physically, spiritually. And mentally, I'm very mentally strong. Growing up, my pops has always been, he's a very transparent person. He's very honest. And he doesn't really care about your feelings. I mean, he does, but like,
to an extent.
When he knows that it's for your betterment, then he will definitely tell you,
right.
Which I've always appreciated. But when I was younger, I didn't. And my mom, she's always been my cheerleader. She doesn't know a lot about basketball, but she's always been my number one fan. She's always cheering me on, no matter what. She has definitely got on me too. She's also a very transparent person, so you see the pattern of me growing up with the people, and that just made me a transparent person, whether that's a friend, a player, all that stuff. So I'm definitely going to tell you, like, 100%.
What it is.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to tell you what it is. Because it's not like, oh, I want to break you down, I want to make you cry. No, it's out of tough love. Like, I really want to make you better. I want you to be the person that you want to be. Mm-hmm. And I've always been an introvert. That has never...
Really?
Yes, that has never... Okay, but listen, when I was growing up, I was definitely an introvert. Like, I was shy. Like, I would talk to people, all that stuff, but if I got comfortable with you, I'm coming out of my shell. I will never stop talking to you. All of my friends were like, Asia, I was scared to come up to you because I thought you were mean. And I was like, listen, like, I can't control that, okay? But then they're like, once we got to know you, you were like literally the nicest person. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's good. And then it just started happening a lot. I was like, wow, I really need to start smiling more, all that stuff. So now I'm a lot more approachable, even to strangers. And now I'm more comfortable with meeting people and talking to people and just being like myself. And honestly, I feel like what has grown me to do that more is the Lord. As I got closer to the Lord, I had to realize that, like, people are going to judge me. People are going to say, always going to say something about me no matter what. So it's just, I have to stay true to myself. I have to stick to myself and just revolve myself around people that are going to make me better and get me closer to the Lord and teach me new things and just make me a better person as I get older and start to become an adult, like literally an adult. Like, I turned 20. Like, that's crazy. Like, I can't fathom. Knowing that I have the Lord with me, mm-hmm. I'm a lot more positive through my obstacles, and I know that I'm going to get through it because I can get through anything with the Lord beside me. Right. And staying positive and all that stuff. So I feel like that's just really what gets me through a day-to-day basis, and praying and getting closer to Him.
Oh, I love hearing stories like that. I love it. I'm on the track team. Totally forgot to mention that earlier.
I'm gonna give props to the track and field people because y'all is great. Like, running for fun.
Well, you guys run up and down the court.
Okay, but that's different. That's different because say if I'm at practice and they're like, okay, it's conditioning day. Right. I'm not gonna run just to run. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, good point.
Like, I want to shoot, or I want to, like, you know, it's just like, I'm not trying to just go up and down without a basketball in my hand. But yeah, I've had to do that countless times, let's just say that. And it just wasn't.
For me, mm-hmm. The recruitment process all through high school was a lot. If you do not hit this certain mark, if you're not the top in the nation, you won't get scouted, you won't go to college, da-da-da-da. Yeah. And so for my family, of course, like, they're the biggest supporters. My mom and my dad have always been there for me. They cheered me on whenever I definitely didn't want to run. You know, that little, do you want to eat dinner? You know what I mean? Like, they have some tough love for me, but absolutely. Like, I totally appreciate it now. Yeah. Because if they let me get away with myself and my thoughts when I was little, I would not be here at all. At all. One time, I just need 1 second off for the 400 hurdles. Just one more second, and I've been 3 different meets, and none of them are working right now. Like, I have not just gotten that freaking second. Yeah. So I was in the bathroom, I was shaking, and I told my mom, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not going. I'm not racing. It's just not, I'm not feeling it. Obviously, God's in His plans. I wouldn't be feeling like this if it wasn't His plan. So I don't think I should run. Yeah. My mom was like, get your tail off the track. Like, you are fine. You're fine. You've done this before. Exactly. Like, there's nothing to worry about. The gun went off. Honey, I could have easily placed first. I was ahead of everyone by a good 20
distance.
Meters. Yeah. 20 meters in the stretch. And I'm feeling tears running down my face. I'm like, I just don't want to be here. I'm like, and I'm looking around like, I have all this time to think, what the heck is wrong with me? Yeah. I passed the distance line.
And you stopped.
And I stopped. And I had 10 more meters to go, and I thought I was done. All the tears got in my eyes. I couldn't tell which one was which. Oh, so I stopped. Whole crowd goes, oh! And I was like, what's going on? So I'm walking. You know, you finished your race and you're tired. You know, the girls are passing me. I'm like, good job. Good job.
I'm
Yes.
crying.
Yes. And then the coach looks at me, he goes, you better not pull that stunt ever again.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? I just finished. I came first. Like, what more do you guys want from me?
I actually came last.
I came in eighth. I made it right into finals. Right there.
Oh my
By
goodness.
0.1. I looked at the time, I was like, why is my name at the end? Like, I was getting frustrated. I was like, you guys need to fix that, da-da-da. They're like,
no,
Mish, you didn't pass through the line. The right line, honey. I was so angry. I let my emotions get the best of me.
Mm-hmm.
That I missed out on an opportunity where I could have easily gotten the time I wanted.
Yeah.
And luckily, God gave me another chance
I was
the
about
next
to say,
day.
God gave you
Right,
another
he gave me another
chance.
chance to redeem myself. I wiped the tears off. I was like, I'm going to get it today.
Yeah.
Got it. Made it and qualified for New Balance Nationals right
Wow.
there. Has there ever been a time where you were like, man, I feel so stuck in this position right now that, like, I don't think I'm ever going to get out. I don't think I'm going to make it to college. I don't think I'm going to make it to get scouted. I don't think, like, anyone's going to be there for me. Like, yeah, sure, I have the support, but, like, at the same time, like, this is so hard. Why am I so stuck?
My junior year, I went to politics.
Okay.
And it just wasn't a good experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
But after the season was over, AAU starts, which is club.
Mm-hmm.
And during the summer, you go on a team and then you guys play.
Right.
Like the whole summer.
Yeah.
2 teams wanted me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Team Durant, right? We tried out for a couple of days and it went well. So I had a meeting with the coach and they were like, you're on the team, but you were the last one that we picked. So basically I'm number 10.
Right.
So that means that they wanted the other people more, so they're most likely to play.
Right. So
And I've never been in that position before.
Oh.
Never been in that position before. So our season started. Mind you, practices were extremely hard. And my coach and my assistant coach were always on me, always. And I didn't realize it then. After that meeting, I got so discouraged. Like, I broke down in front of them. And I have really bad anxiety. So my anxiety just kind of makes me think about the future. I was thinking of all the possible ways, and most of them were negative ways of what was going to happen in the future. And I just broke down because I was just like, I'm tired of everything going wrong, and you know how the season went with school, and I just don't want this to go wrong because this is my last chance of getting recruited. Like,
Right.
I'm going to be a senior, so it's just like, and for AAU, that's a great exposure to be getting recruited. Because that's where all the college coaches come, especially the big tournaments that you participate in and all that stuff. So it was just hard for me to go through that. So I broke down in front of him, and you know, my dad, he doesn't really know how to comfort
That's what
people.
my mom is. He's like,
So he was just like, Asia, like,
stop crying.
yes.
Why are we crying?
Wipe your tears. And I get even more frustrated. And I kept crying. Because I was like, why are you telling me to wipe my tears? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to try out anymore. Like, I don't want to be on this team. He was like, I think you should do it. I was like, what? Like, I don't want to be number 10. First couple of games, sat the bench. And I played a couple. She got me in the game, and I didn't really perform well because my confidence was already low. So it's just like I wasn't performing as I usually would. As the season went on, practice just started to become a little bit easier. And I just started picking up things like plays, drills, all that stuff, to where I started by the end of the season. And I was just like, wow, like, I went through all of this just to start. I went from the last player to the starting lineup.
Wow.
And I had to realize, I reflected back on it after the season, and I got recruited.
Yeah.
Like, my dad went up to Coach Green, and he was like, my daughter really wants to come to your school, all that stuff. So then Coach Green started coming to my games. And he realized, he calls me the sleeper, basically. And what basically that means is like I've always been the underdog. Like nobody has ever seen me. Nobody knows who I am, but I'm a good player.
Sleeper build.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just like nobody knows who this girl is, but she's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I've always been the underdog my whole life, and I'm okay with it. I'd rather be the underdog. So when I was getting recruited by Coach Green, he saw me become the bench player to the starting lineup.
Aww.
And he was just like, wow, like you've grown.
Right.
You've grown a lot. You've faced adversity. You've gained the coach's trust. And that's what I really had to realize is that I'm a brand new kid here. I'm not from DC. I'm not like, I don't know any of these people. And none of them heard about me. So,
well, now they know.
Yes.
Now they know.
Oh, no, now I'm close to both of them. Like, I just talked to my assistant coach the other day, and I appreciate them so much because I have evolved as a player so much being in that program. And I was pushed to my limit. My defense has gotten so much better, offense, my decision-making, all that stuff. Like, and I didn't realize it until the end of the season. And I was just like, why is this so tough? Like, I would be scared to come to practice because I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, it's going to be so hard, blah, blah, blah. But I eventually was just like, no, let's go. Like, you're getting better. Like, let's go to practice. Let's get better. And I just had to realize that, like, I can get through anything.
Yeah.
So that was probably the thing that I was like, what am I going to do? But
Right.
I just have to overcome it with time, so.
Was that like where your love for the sport definitely grew?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, before that, it was okay, and I think it was because coaches don't realize that like they can make their players love or hate the sport.
Yeah.
So they have a huge influence on the performance, the confidence level, and just and the overall mental state of their players.
Mm-hmm.
I've witnessed players just get really down on themselves, not perform as well as they can, or not getting to their potential. I just want to be a coach one day, hopefully, besides from flying planes.
Recently, going through the season, I had another panic attack, actually. And I was super confident moving into being a multi, which is like doing 7 different events.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I have so much respect.
You to do that.
Yeah. I tried it in high school, loved it.
Yeah.
But I never trained for it. And so, and I got pretty far.
Yeah.
And then I came to college and I was like, oh, my senior year, honey, my bones be rattling. And my hips be shaky. Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure.
a lot more different. But nah, my coach, who doesn't do well with emotions either, like I'm like breathing really hard. And I'm like, can we go outside? And he's like, okay. We go outside. And I just like smile and I just like just break down.
Yeah.
And he was like, whoa, Mish, he thought I always had my life together. Going through track my entire life, I always seemed like I was fine. I would have anxiety coming into races, but I would channel that into my race.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine.
Exactly.
And that adrenaline would feel great. What happened? Like, why you don't look very confident right now? Like, what is this? I said, this is something new, and I hate being embarrassed. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to compete today. I'm done. I went back to that same moment I had with my mom. And Vinny was like, this is fun. Like, we recruited you, to come here and do this sport and have fun.
Yeah. That's
have
what
fun.
our coach had to
This
do.
is not your identity.
Yeah.
Like, this is a part of who you are. The challenges that you face, make you. But the sport, I don't care what time you get. I want you to win, right? I want you to have a good time. But I want you to have a good time while doing it. So that way you can be relaxed enough to get the good time.
Exactly.
And I never understood that. And I was just like, just kicked out the team already. Like, it's I don't want to be here. It's fine. And then he cheered me up and he was like, no, like, God gave you a purpose. And this is your purpose. You're here right now.
Exactly.
So be present. You're okay.
Yeah.
I need to hear that. And so it's like, wipe your tears off. I was like, okay. I made tears off. He's like, you have feelings? Like, I just never thought you had. I was like, Vinny, come on. Come on. Got out there, saw the head coach. He comes to me. He goes, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Gives me a hug. You are beautifully made, wonderfully made.
Yeah.
You are athletic. You've been to practice. You can do it. This is just proof that you can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So just have fun. And so, I'm reading this book now called Do the New You by my pastor back at home. Shout out to Stephen Furtick.
Okay.
So he talks about the mindset of I'm not stuck unless I stop.
Yeah.
He said, don't argue for your limitations because you get to keep them. So anytime you feel like, I just can't do it, okay, you won't do it. If you believe in yourself and you see the vision that you are going to be a great athlete, you're going to go on the court. Now, sometimes things are out of your control.
Absolutely.
But the things you can control, especially in the mindset coming into a game or a meet, I had to ask myself, am I arguing for my potential or am I arguing for my limitations?
Mm-hmm.
It's a new event. I don't know what I'm doing. Da-da-da-da. Okay, it's a new event, so it's a new opportunity.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you argue for?
That's actually crazy because I had an individual meeting with my coaches yesterday.
Oh.
And we were talking about how the postseason is going to go and what I individually need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have goals? I was like, I'm not a person to necessarily have goals. I'm not going to have, of course I'll have goals, but I'm not going to have long-term goals. I'll have day-to-day goals or weekly goals, but I'm not going to have like a whole month or a whole year goal because one, that's just going to really stress me out. And I feel like having a day-to-day or a weekly is going to make me more disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
So then eventually it's going to turn into a year of a day-to-day goal,
Right.
or all those day-to-day goals just adding up into 1 year. So
Right.
I personally just want to stay more consistent. And then I started talking about how I just want to control what I can only control. I can't really control if my shot goes in or not.
Right.
I shoot it the same, but some days like I could shoot the same, and my shot will go in Monday, but it won't go in on Sunday, or
Right.
I was just like, I kind of struggled this season. I kind of struggled with, okay, Asia, your shot is not falling, so what are you gonna do? So I kind of got down on myself if my shot wasn't falling, or I just felt like I wasn't doing enough for the team, or if I wasn't doing anything. Crazy because during the season, Coach Green showed us this video of the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. I don't know if he's the head coach now, but he used to be. And he was literally talking about how he teaches his guys that you only have the ball in your hands 5% of the game. And that 95%, whether that's taking a charge, rebounding, playing defense, like just the stuff that you can control based on your efforts. You can't control if the ball goes in or not. You can't control your shot. You can't,
Right.
But you can control if you get a rebound or not. You can control if you can play defense to get a stop. You can control if you can get a charge. One thing about me is that I couldn't let me not scoring falter my confidence.
Right.
So next season, I'm definitely going to start being a little bit more confident. If my shot is not falling, then that's okay. Then I need to do something else.
Right.
If my threes aren't falling, then maybe I need to drive to the basket if I have the lane. So then I could just work my way out, which I've always done. My pops has always told me, like, if your three's not falling, okay, then work your way from a layup to the jump shot, then to the three. And I've done that before, and it really works. So it's just, and I'm the type of shooter that, like, if I'm off, but if I see one go in, it's over. I need to work on, okay, maybe I can get like 7 rebounds, or maybe I can get 3 charges, or maybe I can get 3 stops, like just stop somebody on defense. So it's just like I need to control more of the 95% and not let only the 5% control my confidence in my performance. So yeah.
That is a word right there.
Yeah.
A word right there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same for track, but
It's the same. In 400 hurdles where I would just run. That's what my coach always told me. Just run. Don't focus on the hurdle. Just react to it. And that was cool. That got me through high school. It was great. But then in college, no, there's steps you have to count.
yeah.
No, there's, you got to get out this time. And then you got to steer through the middle third. So you got to quicken your steps. And then so you can stay long so you can hit the hurdle on the right leg.
Yeah.
So you're not going with the wind. And sure there's other factors that you can't control. But hurdling, it takes time, and a lot of these things take time.
Exactly.
And we get so frustrated, our anxiety gets up because we think that we have to be perfect all the time. Whether it's your first try or whether it's your last try, it's got to be perfect all of the time, and that's not going to happen, and
Exactly.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's really okay. And when it's not perfect, that makes us hungry for it even more.
Exactly.
So anytime I'm feeling anxious or I feel like, oh my gosh, like why, I'm like, okay, this is an opportunity. What's the motto that you guys have for basketball this year?
Our motto this year was get to.
Yes.
So,
yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I get to show up. I get to go over the hurdle. I get
Yeah.
to run. I get to do this. There's times we're not going to want to. Okay.
Exactly.
I get to do it.
That definitely pushed us a lot, especially like we would have like very long practices up to 3 hours, so we were just tired, and we would have weights after sometimes, so we were just like, oh, we don't want to go, like we're all tired, we've been running for like almost 2.5 hours, like it's just so hard right now. But then we're just like, no, we get to do this stuff, we get to go to weights, we get to get stronger, faster, quicker. So, and not a lot of people have the ability to, like, I'm sure there's girls out in the world that would kill to be in our spots right now. Where, like, yeah, I want to go to weights. I want to do all this stuff. Like, I want to have your schedule. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
especially when little girls are like, Asia, can I take a picture with you?
Yes.
Or can I sign your name? You know, so that just kind of also fuels me that, like, man, these girls also want to go through what I'm going through, even though they don't know what I'm really going through, but they're still inspired to be like, oh, I want to go to weights, I want to play basketball, I want to win game, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's just all part of the process.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people, being an athlete, a student athlete, is definitely not for the weak. You can get all these feelings out. I don't recommend holding it in, even though sometimes I do, because I'm just like, there's a stamina on athletes, especially I feel like sometimes for girls mostly, because men, like, really, like, men also have another stamina on them that, like, you're not supposed to be emotional, you're not supposed to cry, you're supposed to be a man. So we consider weak being like crying and having anxiety attacks or feeling nervous or all that stuff, when that's literally just all part of the process of being a student athlete. That's just being human. So I definitely, honestly, I feel like that makes you even stronger to have those panic attacks and anxiety attacks, because that just overcomes that, like, I could do this. Like,
Right.
why did I just have a panic attack and anxiety attack? Like, man, I feel better.
Right.
But, like, I can
What's
do
this
this.
stemming from?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I love the Asia that you are now, and I'm pretty sure I will love the Asia that you were back then, because we kind of grew up pretty similar.
Yeah.
And I knew from, like, the jump when I first met you, I was like, this girl's got a good head on her shoulders. So I was like, I'm rooting for you. I have been rooting for you ever since. I'll post on the YouTube page, and I'll be like, Asia, that's 1. That's 2. Oh, that was 9. Oh, okay. No, she totally blew everyone out the water. All expectations of younger you.
Honestly, I didn't expect to start.
Yeah.
I really did not expect at all. Actually, that's a funny story.
Yeah, please.
So before every game, I have to pee. Like, I have to pee.
For every meet, I have to
Like,
pee.
I have
Yes.
to. Or else, like, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Yep.
Like, I have to pee. So it was a scrimmage, actually. And it was probably 2 minutes before the scrimmage was supposed to start. Ella came to get me, and she was like, Asia, I think they need you. I was like, huh? And mind you, I was like washing my hands quickly because I was already hurried.
Right.
I was washing my hands quickly. I was like, wait, what? Ran out there. A seat, because we have like the chairs.
Right.
And there was an open seat, and they were all staring at me. I was like, huh? Like, what?
Hey.
And then I was like, oh, I sat down, and then he just continued talking. I was like, okay.
Come on, get with program, Asia.
No, literally.
You're starting. What? You were on the bench before. You were starting in high school. Come on now, get it together, Asia.
I was just like, wow.
Who does Asia think she is now? I know they call you the sleeper. They call you the baller. You know, but who do you think you are right now?
I feel like that's a TBD right now.
Okay.
Because I'm still trying to find my identity in the Lord. And I'm still trying to search about who I am. And granted, I am very kind. I have characteristics, like, very compassionate. I have a big heart. Like, I care for others before myself. So, like, but I don't know who I really like what is my purpose for being here.
You are a freshman though, so you won't figure it out to like
Absolutely. Yeah.
senior year. Not
So,
even. You are technically now a NARP. How does that feel? Non-athletic regular people.
So.
Sorry, Jonas.
No, I've accepted that.
Okay.
I'm getting drunk.
I don't know what to do with myself. I really don't know. Like, I'm always so used to my busy schedule being back to back to back. After school, I have a little bit of time. Go to practice, film, like weights. Like, it's just always something back to back to back. So it's just like now I have so much free time. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what am I gonna do?
Any hobbies picked up? Any hidden talents that, like, I don't know.
Sleeping.
Oh, sleeping. That's
Sleeping.
good.
So
I haven't found her yet.
Yeah.
What led you to majoring in aviation of all things?
Okay, that's a great question. So both of my parents were in the military,
Okay.
and I just grew up around helos and ships and all that stuff, just the military world. And that's just a pretty cool job. Like, what? And so I started getting familiar about like how much they make and all that stuff 6 to 7 days out of the month consecutively.
Right.
And get 6 figures.
Six
Yeah.
figures.
Yeah. So like, what am I doing for the
Shoot,
rest of the
what-
month? So exactly, and this is commercial. Mind you, like commercial is starting to get up there. So what really inspired me was my mom and my pops have always been a Tom Cruise fan. And so when the new Top Gun movie came out,
The mustache.
my mom and I went over to the movie theater and watched, and I was like, this is what I want to do.
This is my calling.
I'm like,
this is my
Mom.
destiny.
Yeah. Besides, I also wanted to be an OBGYN.
Okay.
But I was like, I don't know what to choose, like a pilot or OBGYN. But when I
Right.
saw that movie, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Something about mustaches, man.
And it was
More
even
fly.
like,
I get it.
exactly. It's just crazy.
I get it.
And I was like, wow, even Liberty has an amazing aviation program. Like,
Right. Yeah.
might as well.
Shoot.
So,
I'll get you in touch with some more teammates. No, they work really hard.
girl, I know
But-
I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. every day, on top of practice, and it's just,
Yeah. What are some of the goals that you want to accomplish while you're here at Liberty, and what is next for Asia Boone?
my biggest goal right now is to get as close to the Lord as possible. That's my biggest goal. Coaching. And I maybe want to go overseas for a year or two just to experience it. I think that would be an amazing experience. And after that, I would like to start my life.
It's gonna be good watching you grow up here. I won't be here, but
I know, that's actually so
I'll
crazy.
be in Connecticut at ESPN, and I'll just think of you.
What?
You know? Yeah, girl.
That's
Instead of
insane,
job.
Misha. What? Like, imagine you in the next 3 years, 6 years. Like,
Shoot. Shoot, don't get me started. Do not get me started. I can't wait to see you flying a plane.
nah.
If I am ever on a plane, I'm gonna look and be in the cockpit.
But nobody's gonna know that I'm flying the plane. Everybody's gonna know who Misha is, like ESPN.
And I will be the one to report and be like, so I'm here with Asia Boone, my elite employee. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that TikTok has me. That's so funny. So is this the only season you were able to watch me?
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
that's fantastic.
Ma'am, I will be working for ESPN. I'll be editing your highlights. Honey, I will be watching you all the time.
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
gonna call you during the middle of the game. Asia? Yeah, girl, so what
You
was
need to pick
that?
it up.
What was that?
You need to pick it
This
up.
highlight isn't gonna look as good as I want it unless you pick it up, okay? I understand we talked
Literally.
about the whole control thing. It's in your control.
Yeah,
Okay?
absolutely. I'll be like, you're right, Misha, you're right.
Yeah. Get back in the game.
Then I'm gonna get a 40 piece. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.